Welcome back to the show, everyone. This is your host, Larry Lou, and you have tuned in to T3Podcast, Transformation Through Truth. If you like what you've been hearing, please subscribe. It will be greatly appreciated. Give a comment, hit the like button. Be greatly appreciated. Today we're going to continue down, of course, this path of just trying to heal. You know, that's what we try to do here, is we try to heal. And I had a conversation, 3.5 hour conversation with someone that is close to me. And it was a very informative conversation. It was heartfelt too. And I want to use that as a teaching tool, because this is what I do, right? She is, unfortunately, in a situation where her 9-year relationship has come to an end. And she's not very happy about that. And rightfully so, right? 9 years is a pretty long time. So she's kind of distraught. And there are a couple things that stood out to me when we were having our conversation. The first thing is that, and she's not alone in this, is that we are carrying a lot of pain and a lot of repressed emotions that we just cannot seem to let go of. But you still have the responsibility of taking care of little ones, of kids, or someone else's kids that you may, have took in. And they're looking towards you for direction. But you're not perfect. But we're not perfect. So it starts with our parents. They're not perfect because their parents weren't perfect. So everyone is just trying to do the best that they can at the end of the day. And that's all you can really ask from someone, is that they do their best. But in the meantime, there are casualties along the way. There are casualties along the way. So the parents, whether it's some type of neglect, whether it's being more authoritative than they should be, causes certain characteristics to emerge in us, positive and negative. Positive and negative. So it starts with the parents, and we suppress these emotions because this is what the ego does. This is what the mind and the body decides to do. And then we get older, and then we get into these romantic relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiancés, husband, wife, whatever the case may be. And then here comes more pain. She said, every man I've ever been with has hurt me. Whether it's majority of the time stepping out on her. I think one might have even been a little physically abusive. And this is very disheartening for her, because what it has done was it has caused her to not trust anyone, and not just men. It has caused her to not trust anyone. So the slightest bit of conflict causes her to overreact and do things that she shouldn't do. But I think deep down, we all, no matter how bad the situation is, we all hold out and believe that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that there is some type of hope that it will be better, that it will get better, that he will change, that she will change. It won't always be like this. I think some of us roll that dice with hope. I think some of us may come out on top, but I think the majority of us just ends up in this state of resigned misery, where the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. And this is where we reside. This is how we live our life. I'm miserable, but I'm comfortable because it is the misery that I know. But she has decided to hope. But when you hope, there's also a chance of disappointment. And this one particular time, or with this particular guy, again, 9 years, things seem to be going well. So it would seem that, her hope has paid off. But here's the problem. When she thinks everyone else is the problem and everybody plays their part, not letting anybody off the hook, but in her mind, with everybody else being the problem, she's not focused on herself because she's too busy looking at what everybody else is doing and trying to prepare for the worst. She stays in that mode of, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's a stressful place to be. Always looking for the negative because you just feel that it's always coming because you can't trust anyone. So your focus is always outside of yourself. And now with the focus being outside of yourself, you can't self-reflect. So you haven't developed the skills to regulate your fear. So when you think it's everybody else, there's a strong chance that it could be you. You just don't see it. And this is the case with this situation where this guy seems to be a pretty good guy. Is he perfect? No. He's not perfect. He will never be perfect. I will never be perfect. You will never be perfect. So at some point you have to decide on, even though people you care about and people you love are causing you pain, they will, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, whether it's purposely or not, people are going to cause you pain. You have to decide whether you care about or love them enough to accept it. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, especially her, who has been hurt her whole life. That's a hard pill to swallow. But again, as you've heard me say, pain is a part of life. You cannot hide from it. You have to just decide, who are you going to accept pain from? Because if not, you will probably be by yourself for the rest of your life. And if you're not cool with that, that's a big problem for you. No one is perfect. You are going to have to tolerate something. And I'm not going to decide what you should tolerate. That should be your decision. That's your decision to make. We have deal breakers. We all have them. I get it. Some things we're just not, I'll just say, strong enough to tolerate. But if you can't tolerate anything, then maybe there's something going on with you where you need to strengthen yourself to be able to accept something. You shouldn't be that weak to where everything is a problem. So this hope will come with the possibility of disappointment. Good guy, but 2-3 years after dating, he stays out all night. Didn't call. Didn't text. She blowing him up. She said about 10-15 times. Nothing. At that point, the hope that she had for this relationship was gone. Because all it did was bring back flashbacks of her past relationships. So all this anger, here's this energy starting to move, created the emotion of anger. And I even go as far as to say maybe even rage. Because again, you haven't learned how to regulate the emotions that come up. You just suppress them. So they're there, lurking in the shadows. And soon as something happens, just like that, all of that anger comes back. And this is what she's telling me. She has flashbacks of all her relationships, how they hurt her, how they brought her pain. So now with this guy, he comes home 6-7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I was at the casino, just doing this, doing that. And she has a point. How come you didn't call? How come you didn't text? That is the least somebody could probably do, right? But again, not knowing exactly what happened, she takes her emotions as facts. Her feelings are now facts that you had to be out doing something you shouldn't have been. I don't know. But she don't know either. She don't know either. But because she has a problem with trust, she ain't trying to hear nothing because of her past. And not to mention, a lot of us know the game that we played. A lot of us know the game that we play. So she told me, I know this for a fact, when I was, younger and I had maybe 2, 3, 4 boyfriends. So of course, her actions at certain times in her life, the actions of others being with her, now she can't trust. He comes in at 7 o'clock in the morning. You must have been doing something you weren't supposed to be doing. Or else you could at least call. You could at least did this. You could at least did that. I don't think that would have been enough, but let's go with that. Now here's the flip side. He has never done that before. Never. So maybe This is not something that is done on a daily basis. This has happened 3 years in the relationship. So maybe give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe give him the benefit of the doubt. Because the funny thing about this story, and I told her this, I did the same thing. Was out at a casino. Didn't mean to stay out to 7 o'clock in the morning. I left the house probably at 7 o'clock in the evening and didn't come home till 7 o'clock the next day. Didn't call, didn't text, nothing. And I'm going to tell you what my mindset was. Wrong, right, or indifferent. I'm just going to tell you what my mindset was. I was not out having sex with another woman. I wasn't doing something that would warrant a breakup. Not even doing something that would warrant a breakup in my eyes. Was out kicking it with friends, males and females, and I lost track of time. I just lost track of time. That's part of it. The other part of it is this, and I'm just going to keep it 100. To a certain extent, I didn't care. I was enjoying myself. I don't go out. I may go out twice a year because there's nothing out there for me. So I may go out twice a year and kick it. And I was enjoying myself so much, don't go out a lot. You having a good time with your friends and this and that. Lost track of time. It wasn't a big deal to me. I came in the house and my wife didn't say anything. You must have had a good time. You was out all night. I'm like, yeah, we had a good time. She laughed. Oh, that's good. I'm happy. It's not something that I normally do. So she gave me the benefit of the doubt. I'm not out every weekend. I have female friends. That's another podcast. I know. I have female friends, but she can have male friends. If my female friends call, I don't go in the other room unless she loud and I have to be able to hear. Talk in front of her while I'm on the phone with my female friends. It's not a big deal to me. I'm not hiding anything. So she has trust for me. Whether she should or not is another story. But because of that trust, it hasn't caused a rift in our relationship. Because she don't know what I was doing out there. Because some of you can say, and rightfully so, I was up to no good. I should have called. I should have texted. This and that and other. And you're right. Maybe I should have did all those things. But I didn't. And I wasn't out having sex with another woman. So people are going to believe what they want to believe. And in the case of this particular young lady, she believed that he was up to no good. Now, as I come in the house and me and my significant other laugh about it, she does the total opposite. Now she doesn't trust him. So now the relationship is kind of changed. He's looking at her kind of funny. So now the relationship is not going in a direction of positivity, I'll just say. The relationship is not getting enhanced now because she think he was up to no good. So now she's suppressing her anger, or at least trying to, until she can't. Relationship goes on, things continue to happen, nothing out of the ordinary. He seems to be a decent guy. But she gets so upset one day, because again, now, you might be like everybody else. You trying to hurt me. So now she's dysregulated in her emotions. Her feelings have proved to her that she's right about how she feels about him now. You ain't on the up and up because of what you did. Not knowing what he did, but how she felt behind what he did. She takes his truck and she wants to act like somebody stole it. So she drove it somewhere, parked it, messed it up, walked back to the house so that he would be upset. That's what she did. The thing that she felt he loves the most, and I'm assuming besides her, but the thing that she felt he loved the most, she wanted to act like something happened to her. And this is why she did it. I wanted him to feel what I felt. Do we all know that that's what most people want? It's for people to validate their feelings. That's what people want. They want their feelings validated at the end of the day. And there is a problem with that in that relationship where he doesn't know how to validate feelings. Why? Because of his childhood. He doesn't validate his own feelings, so how can he validate someone else's? Again, childhood. Not our fault, but our responsibility. But those are powerful words. I wanted him to feel what I feel. I wanted him to feel what I feel. Because I don't feel like he validates my feelings. He could have called. He could have texted. I was worried. Everything that I went through. And I'm not saying she's wrong. But there will always be pain. There will always be someone there to hurt you. No one is immune to suffering. No one. And as I think about it, the best of us mess up. I know I have. I know the things that I've done. We'll talk about that one day. But I know the things that I've done that wasn't right. But my question is, who hasn't? Just because I do something that might not be correct doesn't necessarily make me a bad person or an unjust person. The act is, but I'm not. And that's most of us. We act, or I should say, we do things that are not right. But that doesn't mean we're rotten to the core. We all do things that we should do, and sometimes we do things that we shouldn't. And even the best of us, like I said, we do things that we shouldn't do. David, you don't have to be religious to understand this message. David stole a man's wife, had sex with her, and then had the man killed. This is a man that the Almighty, the source, said that this is a man after my own heart. This is what God said. This is a man after my own heart, but yet he committed murder, committed adultery, in spite of being able to have anything he wants, having any woman that he wanted. God told him, I've given you wives, concubines, whatever you want. He said, if whatever I've given you is not enough, just ask me. But sometimes we do things that we might not be proud of, but we felt like we just couldn't help. We sometimes do things that we just feel like we could not help. Right, wrong, or indifferent. We felt like we couldn't help it. All those wives and concubines that David had, he seen that woman, and whatever it was, whatever she stirred up in him, he had to have her. And that's what goes on with us sometimes. Things that we do, we know we probably shouldn't do it, but we just feel compelled to do it. Doesn't make us right, but it doesn't make us wicked either. It doesn't make us wicked either. Because the bottom line, we all want to take credit for the good things that we do and say that we're a good person, that we're a kind person and a loving person. And I don't dispute that. You know, I do this for my significant other, or I do this for my parents, or I do this for my kids, and you know, you're a good person. But what about when you do the things that you shouldn't do? Does that make you a bad person? Do you sit there and say that you're a bad person and you're an evil person and you're a wicked person because you did that? No. But we can't have it both ways. So for her, she told me, she said, I hate that about myself. That I can't trust. That every time something happens, I think the worst. She said, I hate that I carry it, that I still carry all the pain and all the hurt that has happened to me. I carry that. And she said, I wish I didn't. She wished she didn't. She wished she didn't take this guy's car and act like it was stolen. She wished she didn't take his clothes and throw them all over the front lawn and tell him to get out. But she felt compelled because of her feelings. Not because of what was true, but because of what she felt. But this is the dilemma we all are in. This is the dilemma we all are in. It's about what we feel instead of what is factual. And sometimes we ain't gonna know what the facts are. So then the question will become, do you trust me? You don't need trust if you already know what you want to trust in. There's no reason to trust if you already know. If I'm trusting you, it's because I can't see what's on the other side. If I'm trusting you, it's because I don't really know what you did. I can only go off what you told me and believe that that's true. If I can see it, there's no reason to trust in it. But when you don't have any trust, what can you believe? Who can you believe? She still carries it with her, is what she told me. I wish that I wasn't like this. And when I tried to talk to her about what it is that she needed to do in order to overcome this, she was very honest. And she said, that's too hard it's not something I can do. When all she has to do is what I told her. I said, you have to let it go. Just let it go. I can't do that. I said, I know it sounds easy, and I know it's not. But at the same token, it is easy. I know it's a paradox. All you have to do is let it go. Forgiveness is never for the other person, it's for us. It's for us. And as hard as it is, it's just as easy, if you can understand that. You just have to be willing to give up what you think is right. It's not letting someone off of the hook, because that just makes you more upset. It's giving you the ability to live your life, not paying free, but being able to tolerate the reality of pain being a part of life. That's all. But you know what she said? I can't do it. She ain't ready, and that's fine. Maybe one day she will. But for her, it means that she's okay with everything that every guy, her parents did to her. To her, that's what it communicates. I'm saying that it was okay, and it wasn't. And she's right, it's not okay. But you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. She said she couldn't do it. This is unfortunate, because this is a spot that a lot of us are in. We can't do it. Some of us want to do it, but we don't know how to do it. Again, there's a difference between telling somebody something and teaching somebody something. But some of the things that we must learn to do, as I said before, we learn by doing. We learn by doing. And this is one of them. You just have to let it go. Can you do that? Can you all do that? Just let it go. If your parents beat you when you was younger, let it go. If you was abused when you was younger, let it go. It's for you, it's not for them. If every guy that you ever been with cheated on you, let it go. Yeah, maybe you had something to do with it, but everybody plays their part. I've been with women who was excellent women to me. I still cheated. That's what I wanted to do. I liked it. Nothing they did could have changed that. Nothing they did could have changed that. So whatever pain you are feeling, whatever hurt you have inside of you, whatever emotions you have suppressed and continually repressed, you gotta let it go. That's the only way. The act of just saying, I give up, and let it go. You'll feel its weight being lifted. You'll feel lighter. You will look healthier. But you gotta let it go. It's just a simple act. T3 Podcast. Larry Lou. Elevation is in order. Peace.